Hi. How are we? Are we good? I'm good. I'm happy to be back. The little glass is new. It's going to fill up as like tips and stuff happen. It's like a whole new thing. Welcome back. Okay. Painting toy soldiers? Nice. Oh yeah, so I'm going to be trying out a new face capture softwares that'll hopefully cause less lag on my face. So let me know how that works out. Like if the mouth starts lagging, let me know. Ooh, I am so excited. I have been waiting for this. It is VC face. Awesome. Yeah, we'll see how it holds up in-game, because that's like... I am so fucking ready for Best Boss. I can't believe we're only level 77, but we have some stuff to get out of the way first. I'm gonna have to adjust, because I was using this controller for my Switch, and the buttons have been very switched around. I know. It was designed to trouble me. There we go. There's that good stuff. We got best gesture. It's interesting to see a shrine to the Firstborn here. It's kind of complicated, though, just because, the ongoing question of kind of, like, how much of that is gameplay related and how much of that is story related. What can you do? Sometimes feet are all you have. Hi, Ariel. Also, who have I not said hello to? Esper, Mistheart, Hedon, Robin. Hi, hi, hi. Oh yeah, I should probably make myself a little smaller. Just so I'm not taking up too much of the screen. How's that? Am I good? Is this too big? Maybe Guinevere just wanted to do something else for her brother? That's possible. Oh boy, okay. Oh no, we have that we're dealing with that bug again. We gotta deal with that. Hang on, I'm gonna have to restart. That bug is so weird. What's also annoying is that this new keyboard I have just doesn't allow you to Alt F4. I guess it's some... I mean, it is a gamer keyboard. That's probably why. Yeah, I found it apparently that's, like, not a super uncommon bug. Although it only happened when I started streaming it. I have no idea why. Yeah, it doesn't want me to lock on. It's like, you fucking casual, you need to log on. You need to lock on. Hang on. I'm dealing with some stuff. Oh, also, Robin, thank you for the resub. I'm sorry I didn't get the message on here. It could be? I have no idea. It seems like it's not a super... Like, I saw other people reporting it. But who's to say? You need a shield? Like some kind of pussy? Oh man, it is good to be back though. I know we have dropped viewers fairly significantly, but that's fine. I'm happy to be back. Holy shit, we do not have much curse resistance. How do we have that little curse resistance? That's insane. Gonna put on, like, the Drang set. Yeah, I forgot Lothric's set has, like, insane curse resist for some reason. Okay, we're gonna... Nope, we're bug-free now. Oy vey. I hate this fucking thing. Ow! Cameras. Punishing me for locking on. Thank you, Best Boy's hat. Nice. That's better. There we go. I plan to, yeah. Ooh, that was close. Honk. Yeah, this is... I know we're probably gonna have very low view count for a Lorethrough, which is a shame, because I've been waiting for this the whole time, but that's on me for getting sick as a dog. Hi, Blinkspat. Straight sword imbued with the strength of lightning. This featureless longsword contains the very power of the sun. Perhaps it is a relic of one-sided adoration. So basically, that sword is connected to Solaire. But since it has actual sunlight power, that implies that Solaire did actually gain that power eventually, which is lovely, and I'm happy for him. A sacred braille tome from Lothric, filled with miracles for use by knights. It is said that no paladin inside Lothric Castle could fall, owing to the divine protection they enjoyed. But I mean, we've made a fair amount of them fall, so that's kind of bullshit. Carrying meta. I mean, as long as it gives them something to believe in. Oh, there's an item there. I have a compulsive need to get every single item. He really is. Himbicon. That sounds like a convention. Like, are you going to Himbicon this year? Why must Dark Souls be unfair? Life is unfair. It's just preparing you. Sweet, I can level. Normally I tend to be a much higher level at this point in the game, so it's gonna be fun. But before we make our pilgrimage towards the best boss, we're gonna have to take a little detour for some deep lore and a major twist to the game that also offers some really good lore insight. and I was thinking about saving it for a little later, but it would probably be better to do it now.
Welcome home, speak then. Very well, then take note.
Life is unfair sometimes. It's a bummer, but like, what can you do, you know?
Farewell, Ashmead.
Yeah, sorry if we have a little frame slowdown, by the way. My CPU is having a time. Oh, right. We have to give the Braille Tome to Irina.
Oh, champion of what you wish. Oh, you've brought me a Braille Divine Tome. Now I can tell new tales of miracles.
I love you, Queen.
Tales of the greater miracles.
She's wonderful. I love her so much.
What fun we will have.
Yeah, it is going to be a little awkward. Excuse me. Miracle taught to Lothric Knights. The Knight is one of the 3 pillars of Lothric, said to have strengthened ties with the High Priestesses after the Scholars acquired the Grand Archives. So we know there was we know there was a big conflict between them that caused the outbreak of the Civil War, and we know that the Scholars went with, against Gertrude and imprisoned her. The Knights seem pretty split. We don't know much about the High Priestesses beyond the fact that Emma is one. We did. That doesn't really have anything super relevant. Oh, here we go. This has some good lore. Miracle taught to knights by Gertrude, holy maiden to the queen. The heavenly daughter is said to be the queen's child.
Have a pleasant, I pray.
So, that's really interesting because, as we know, the heavenly daughter was the cause of a civil war. And it seems like originally she was, all for the Linking the Fire. She worked for, the royal family, doing stuff like teaching miracles and whatnot. Which is that's pretty cool. But clearly that changed in time. Now then, before we go do the area that leads to the big twist, let's tackle one boss right here. Because we didn't tackle it last time, and we stopped right outside the fog gate. But yeah, sorry if we deal with some dropped frames. Like I said, I'm working on getting various software to play nice together. I swear to God. You people and your effective utilization of girl power. Oh yeah, we have to go check in on Cirrus, too. We have a lot to do. Oh boy. Oh, he's still following me? Is he... No, he gave up. Oh no, is he buffing his weapon, or did he give up? I hope he gave up. Did the chat effectively utilize girl power when we beat that joke into the ground? I don't know, you tell me. Yeah, we've got some fairly heavy CPU usage. Steam's the real problem. What can you do? So yeah, I'll work on getting that fixed. Hopefully it's not too noticeable. Anyway, boss fight time. That sure is a thing. Dragon Slayer armor. So this is actually a suit of armor that those butterflies kind of put something into to make it come to life because they want to stop you. As for why that is, we'll get into it. The butterflies have a lot of neat lore associated with them that the game does not like to spell out for you. Shit. Hammer time. Oh! Ooh. Yeah, they like shooting that nastiness at you while you fight. The evil meatballs. Ooh, that was some tracking. Did not realize he had that kind of tracking. I mean, I shouldn't assume it's a he. Holy shit, I got lucky there. Okay. That wasn't too bad. Oof, duh. I support the non-binary Dragon Slayer armor. So we're probably gonna tackle this next area in a second, because there's some pretty heavy lore, but that'll lead us into another area. It's good to have all these chunks, because I might want to change weapons, if only because the fashion on these is a little lackluster. Chunks, huh? I can't win with you people. So yeah, we have a few statues here. We have a statue of it looks like the High Priestesses.
Now thou art a blade of the dark moon, hunteth the enemies of the lords by the power of the dark sun.
Rachel, more like Why of sunshine in these trying times, Chell.
Oh, thank you, Spaghetto. Thank you very much for the resub. Congratulations on 5 months, almost to the loyalty badge. I am happy that I can be a ray of sunshine in these trying times, and it is good to be back. What weapon did the actual Knightess use? A paring dagger and something else. We have met her. We haven't talked about who she is yet. So this is interesting because these statues don't look like pillars. It is entirely possible that this is the king and queen of Lothric, or statues of them. Which imply that maybe Guinevere got a little old. What can you do? Okay, Game Middles, what hat do you want? Hats off means you can pick a hat. What hat do you want? Hi, wife.
Can I turn the heater on, or is it too loud?
Yeah, just move it a little away from the computer. Sorry for...
If I put it, like, over here?
Yeah. Sorry for my avatar going a little crazy. It doesn't like when I drink water. But I gotta hydrate. Perfect. We look good as hell. Yeah, let me know if that's super audible in the background. Anyway, let's pop on back to Firelink Shrine. Yeah, I mean, it gets a little cold, I can imagine. Now then. Take a peek at the soul. Soul of the Dragon Slayer armor. The Dragon Slayer armor, controlled by the Pilgrim Butterfly, lost its master long ago, but still remembers their sporting hunts. Now, that's actually a misnomer. It's the Pilgrim Butterflies. So, yeah, the Pilgrim Butterflies seem to have enough power to forge a soul for the armor and puppeteer it to try to stop you from getting to this next area. As for why, we'll discuss it. Get some stuff from him. Does that have anything? The shield offers high protection to lightning, which the Dragon Slayer commanded as his own, and its skill has the faint echoes of the Dragon Slayer's own fighting style. So that's really interesting. Because, as we know, the Lothric Knights did use lightning. It was just, like, a thing they did. It's possible that it was out of reverence for, you know, that royal family. How much can I get with that? Only 15k? You kidding me? Yeah, the Knightess used an S-Stock and a parrying dagger. Do some math real quick. No, I don't have enough. Now then, before we continue on to the next area...
The blade of the dark moon hunteth the enemies of the lords by the power of the dark sun.
Maddie, thank you very much for the resub. 8 months, my goodness. I certainly appreciate it. So we're going to take a little detour to a lore-heavy area that I hate. Like, I hate to play it, but it gives a lot of lore insight. How's my lip sync, by the way? How is my capture? Is it good? I hate this area. Cool. So it's one of these guys. However, they're a different color than the ones in the cathedral. Meaning these may be... like, these are probably not Aldrich corrupted. Professor Rachel has evolved into Teehee Rachel. It's true. I have matured. They're just vibing, exactly. The Consumed King's Garden. Now, Consumed King doesn't sound very nice. And we know that Lothric is not the king. Like, he was meant to be, but he rejected the call because of his horrible fucking upbringing. And, yeah, this area has a whole bunch of toxic nastiness and a whole bunch of those dudes. A whole bunch of the pus of man. Meaning it's entirely possible that this nastiness may be connected to where they came from. Yeah. It's possible that it's a consumed king, like a literal eaten king. But it's also possible that, he was consumed by whatever's going on with these nasty lads. It's very hard to say. Yes, so we know that Lothric is not the king, meaning most likely the current king or former king would be Osiris. Thank you, Gay Middles, and don't worry about it if it's something that's, like, that's hard for you right now financially. Like, I totally get it. Oh my god. That's funny.
Never had prawns before. Aren't they like little lobsters?
I think so. You actually don't have to go through the other Lords of Cinder to get here. You can, believe it or not, you can actually fight the dancer early if you kill Emma upon your first meeting her. You can just straight up go in here, although you can't get to the final Lord of Cinder. The door's locked and you can't get through, but I think you are designed to beat the other lords first. I mean, we know that the old lady is not nearly as nice as she appeared to be, because we discussed how she's literally asking you to kill a poor, disabled, young man. Now, here we go. Ring of Osiris, former king of Lothric, reduces damage from backstabs. Now, that's interesting, because he's being referred to as the former king, but Lothric is referred to as a prince, so it would seem that right now there isn't a king of Lothric, the place. In his later years, Osiris became fascinated with dragons. After going mad, he was more commonly known as the Consumed King. Many assassins were dispatched to his domain, but none returned. The Consumed King ascribed his resilience to the divine protection of the dragon scale. Now that's interesting, because he wasn't consumed in the literal sense. It seems as if he was consumed with an obsession. Most likely an obsession about dragons. It's also worth noting that you can summon Hawkwood, the dude from Firelink Shrine here, which isn't super relevant yet, but it will be relevant later. A young man who, much like the professor, seems to have glass bones, paper skin. Yes, I love him because we share a disease. The power of the dragon scales. It seems like there's an obsession with scales, and that thought consumed him, kind of like maybe a certain other character who we've mentioned. But he refers to having scales, or having the divine protection. But does he actually have scales, or is it, an artificial thing like the ring?
I think the fascination with scales is scales is what gave the dragons their immortality.
Yeah. So, let's go find out in the best voice-acted cutscene in the series.
I'm glad I can't hear it.
That's a strange noise coming from here. Oh boy. Oh boy. That is not a person.
You ignorant slaves. Finally taken notice, have you? Of the power of my beloved Ocelot, child of dragons.
Osiris is looking a little rough.
Well, I will not give him up. For he is all that I have.
He looks a little fucked up. Now, he's eyeless, he's hunched over, and slimy. He looks familiar. He looks like Seath. And he's holding... Oh yeah, it's also worth noting he uses very powerful sorcery.
From me? Come out. Come out. Don't be afraid. You were born a child of dragons. What could you possibly fear? Now, show yourself.
Oh my god, he has so much health.
My dear little Ocelot.
Yeah, it seems like he was consumed. It seems like he may have, not pulled off what he was going for, and also, he looks a little insane. Uh-oh. He's completely lost it at this point. Whatever bit of sanity he had left is gone. He's using white crystal breath, which is directly connected to Seath. And yeah, if you listen closely, you can actually hear the baby crying, which is fascinating, because it doesn't look like he's holding a baby. But he does refer to the baby as being a child of dragons. So it's possible that it can turn invisible, like Priscilla, or it's possible he's completely insane and just imagined the baby. Yeah, he keeps screaming about Ocelot hiding for... But he is also blind. Like, he went blind.
Yeah, but wouldn't he be able to feel it in his hand? He's, like, cradling him.
Yeah, I think...
He's, like, saying, oh, my dear beloved Ocelot, and then he's like, but are you hiding from me? But he's holding it like a football.
Yeah, I think he's lost it.
Do you think there was a baby in his palm, or no?
I think that's up to debate. In cut content, there is a baby, but I'm not going to go too into it.
I would like to not talk about that.
But he, yeah, he was a little nuts. Yeah, like, we did...
Hearing the baby. You had a theory about that.
Yeah, it's entirely possible that we heard the baby because he was creating that sound. Yeah, if it's... I think it's worth noting that the baby crying stops when he dies.
Your thing fucking...
Sorry about that.
She just got, like, yanked to the side.
I had to drink water. Well, I don't want to talk about the baby stuff too much, just because it can be really hard on people.
If you want to know, you can look it up yourself, but please don't talk about it.
Yeah, Lance McDonald has a good video about it, but... Osiris went mad trying to harness his royal blood for a greater purpose, leading him to the heretics of the Grand Archives, where he discovered the twisted worship of Seath the Pale Drake. So it seems like those dudes in the archives were worshipping Seath, kind of like Big Hat Logan was. I'm stretching, sorry if she looks weird. Yeah, it's rough. I'm not going to go into it. Let's move on to a different subject, please. I'm just going to say that. I think because of his power and his immortality, well, his desire for immortality and his desire for power, people worshipped him. It's pretty janked.
Farewell, Ashmaid.
I think, he has the fungus on him because he's, you know, attempting to ascend to this form, but failing. I think it's kind of like how the dragon cult from 1 and from 3, like, were obsessed with becoming dragons. It seems like he was obsessed with becoming Seath to the point where he went insane. Now, that's upsetting, because that means that Guinevere, who escaped from Seath's abuse, ended up with somebody that came to channel Seath, and it's like, no wonder she ran away. It's a very unfortunate turn of events for her, sadly. Passive Man is mentioned in the game Files. Now, we can actually get the Moonlight Greatsword from him. Yeah, obsession with Seath tends to end poorly. Legendary weapon associated with Seath the Pale Drake. Charge strong attack to its limit to unleash Moonlight Wave. Osiris, the consumed king, was infatuated with the search for moonlight, but in the end, it never revealed itself to him. Now this is interesting, because this Moonlight Greatsword actually doesn't have the glow that the original Moonlight Greatsword had. Because this is probably a fake or a failed recreation. It can use the abilities, but it... how best to put it? it doesn't have the strength that it did because he did not achieve, like, that connection to moonlight. Sorcery of the deluded, consumed King Osiris. Emits crystal breath of Seath the Scaleless. Crystal breath has piercing qualities. Seath's research seemed to strike a chord with old Big Hat, who, in his mad, disrobed state, made divine works such as this, his own. Osiris was no doubt edified by this. So it seems like the fact that Logan was able to develop these really powerful spells made him believe that by worshipping Seath, he could also develop powerful magic. Now, as we know, he was big on messing around with the powers that be, specifically dragon-like powers. And it's entirely possible that research came into play when trying to create a powerful enough heir to link the fire. Meaning he may have kind of forced some powers similar to that onto his son, which definitely had a negative effect. Hi, Bella. Hi, Amplesea.
Welcome. Very well then taken. Farewell.
How are y'all? Excuse me. Now then, let's head on back to where he's at. So yeah, it seems like the...
Now thou art a blade of the dark moon, hunteth the enemies of the lords by the power of the dark sun.
Nialis in Wonderland, thank you very much for using your Prime sub. I really appreciate it. Congratulations on becoming a Blade of the Dark Moon. Yeah, it seems like he wasn't great to Lothric. Now, let's go through here because there's some really interesting stuff, and things are gonna get confusing, but bear with me. Now, there's these lads here. These are called man-serpents. They definitely seem like people kind of attempting to transform, kind of like Osiris, probably also connected to the dragon cult. And yeah, they're literally like man-serpents. These are also people that followed that. And they followed something called the Path of the Dragon, which is connected to the dragon cult. And we will be discussing the Path of the Dragon in time. But it is connected to that same dragon cult from Dark Souls 1. Okay, now, here is where things are going to get absolutely crazy, so bear with me. They are connected to... well, kind of. The Dark Souls 1 man-serpents were creations of Seath. These are more organically created. Now, this place is... not... doesn't make sense. These are the Untended Graves. And as you might notice, they look familiar. However, things are not the way the rest of the world is. There is no light. There is literally pure darkness, as if the flame has gone out completely. There are Corvians here, which, as we know, are connected to the nature of the Forlorn, which we will get into. And there's a bunch of graves, and yeah, this looks to be the Cemetery of Ash, where we woke up originally. Now, here's some good lore. Gray crystalline ring created from shards. Increases FP restored by Ashen Estus Flask. Once a treasure brought before Lothric's queen, she had it enshrined in the cemetery of Untended Graves, so that one day an unkindled might profit from its use. So that clarifies a point that I've implied throughout, which is the Cemetery of Ash has been maintained by the people of Lothric, or like the Kingdom of Lothric, and it seems like Guinevere came through here in an attempt to try to make things easier for the people here. But yeah, as you can see, this here is where we picked up the Ashen Estus Flask at the beginning of the game. But this is not... Oof. This is somewhere where the flame has been extinguished. Now, that doesn't make sense, because we were here earlier, and we can go back here and see that the flame is 100%, like, the sun is 100% still there. So why is it dark here? This ain't your mama's cemetery of ash. Alright. There we go. I got greedy. Abyss? Kind of. Thinking of the Abyss is a good point, and we will come back to that. Oh yeah, we picked up the Storyteller Staff, which I was hoping to get as a drop earlier. Staff of a heretic storyteller who shares tales of the painted world to forlorn souls. The storytellers, too, are wretched beings with no place to go. Their bodies, souls, and even their staves are all tainted through and through. So it seems like what those storytellers are talking about is the painted world. Meaning the Corvians are trying to get to, or at least connected to, the painted world. And we'll come back to that, but I wanted to bring it up now. Fucking dogs. Not the deep. Good of you to think of the deep, but this is separate from the deep.
This is something different.
Don't forget to follow and subscribe for more. For more deep lore. Etc. So yeah, we went to this area to get Titanite scales. Now there's 2 of them. Oof. They mitosis? Not quite. Now, what's interesting is that, you know, despite all the darkness, we can see. You can finally type comfortably. Was something getting in the way? Thank you, Athena. I will get to everything in time. So yeah, this is where we came through in the earlier area. You were using a TV remote? Oh no! Dark Spirit, Daughter of Crystal Crymild. Oh shit. R.I.P. daughter. Is she not dead? There we go. There we go. The daughter of Crystal Crymild is connected to the Crystal Sages, and we'll discuss that later. No, different Crymild. You're a real trooper, Imple. Yeah, so these guys are still here, but they're significantly stronger. Oh yeah, as I mentioned, if you think the hat is goofy, we do have a hats off channel points thing where you can pick a different hat. Oh. What a coinky dink. What hat do you want, Bella? I'll look at the hats in a second. Once I clear out the enemies. Just want to make sure I don't get any surprises. Oh, there's nothing even there. What is even the point? Frame perfect. Okay, what do you want? Well, I take a sip of water. And my avatar freaks out for some reason. It doesn't like me drinking water, but that sucks for it. It just enjoys looking off to the side.
The way she, like, just snaps back into place, like she just got the life injected back into her.
That's how I act in real. Drinking water brings her unimaginable pain. That's what happens when you have glass bones, paper skin disease. What can you do? Everything causes pain.
Oh my god.
I simply live with the pain. I don't have Pope hat. All of the hats I have are right here. Like, you have to pick from this list. Your souls leaving their VTuber bodies is one of the perils of terminal anime. I mean, you know, what can you do?
So many hats.
You can think about it, because I can't just stand around all day. Hidden Blessing. Have we already discussed the Hidden Blessing? No, we haven't. So we can talk about that. Painting Guardian? Cool. Good as hell.
Sick.
Posture check. I'm all good. I just noticed there's a guy over there. I gotta talk about this item. Oh yeah. Here we go. Holy water blessed by the Queen of Lorethrough. So, Guinevere. There is a grave in Lorethrough that sees no visitors, a dark place where rootless warriors rest. The Queen of Lorethrough alone cared to wish the poor souls good fortune. So it seems like even though, like, Lorethrough, the place, was, you know, all about linking the fire, it seems like Guinevere was maybe less, not necessarily less on board, but regretted it. Like, regretted the hardship that these people were put through, because the Kingdom of Lorethrough would just kind of grab all these unkindled and stick them in graves here until it was time to go. Swordmaster from the start of the game. Now, before we go there, which is where we fought Gundyr in the base game, I'm gonna level up and we can talk about something real quick, which is the flow of time, which I know we have mentioned quite a number of times, no pun intended.
Speak then.
But I believe our dear friend once mentioned something about the flow of time in this series. I believe it had something to do with its convolution. It is indeed convoluted. So, the reason that this is the same place is it is entirely possible that this is the same place, but in the past or in the future. There's a question of, you know, what it is specifically. But basically, as we know, the fire is nearly out in this universe.
Upon your journey.
So, how it kind of goes down is that with the fire being nearly out, time itself is breaking down, and so past, present, and future are intermingling. Spicy Water 7, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Ah! So let's go on down to where Gundyr was, and there is Gundyr. But he looks a little different. There's nothing coming out of his back. There's candles surrounding him. And as the fire goes out, does time stop? Kind of? We'll discuss it. Also, somebody redeemed emote-only chat, so we're going to turn that on for a couple minutes. So save your questions, and then I will turn it off. Gives me a chance to go over. And now you can subscribe and get my awesome emotes. Why not? Now then. So, there's the question of course, how is Gundyr here? But it's not the Gundyr we know. It's not Udex Gundyr. It is Champion Gundyr. And he is completely lacking the pus of man. I love this fight, but it is very difficult. Yeah, he's moving different, and he has... Those red eyes are the eyes of a hollow. Oofta. Now, his fighting style is fascinating because he doesn't fight like any other knight we've seen. He fights with his fists, he fights with punches and kicks. He is gone. Like... Ah, shit. Here we go. Yeah, and in his death animation, he kind of reaches up. And unlike last time, he has a soul, which he did not have when we fought him last time. Okay, we can turn off emote-only chat now. There we go, you can all talk now. So yeah, what we're seeing here is Gundyr, but not the Gundyr we know. It is most likely the Gundyr of the past, and as for how we know that, we will have some more to talk about. Sick moves, Teach. Thank you. I do my best.
Farewell, Asher.
So yeah, that pretty firmly solidifies that we are in the past. Once, a champion came late to the festivities and was greeted by a shrine without fire and a bell that would not toll. So he showed up late. And that actually ties into this ring that I got way earlier in the game. This ring was entrusted to a certain firekeeper, but in the end, she never met her champion, and the ensuing tragic farce became a favorite tale of the masses. So it seems like he got there too late. He was meant to be a champion like us, but he didn't get there in time, and the firekeeper died, and the flame, faded. But the question is, did it fade completely, or is this simply a timeline where the flame had almost faded until somebody brought it back to life? And that is an interesting question where most of the answers are fairly theoretical, so I'm going to be discussing them at a later date when we go into the purely theoretical territory and like the speculative territory, which I love because I'm a teacher and we love to speculate. And yeah, he is significantly more aggressive than a traditional polearm user because he has completely lost it. He has failed in his purpose and has thus hollowed completely.
Aha, so...
Halberd of Gundyr the Champion, received when he was charged with his duty. This old cast-iron halberd has the power to break poise and is said to never crumble, seeming to suggest that Gundyr was fated to eternal service from the beginning. Portion of a steel chain used to restrain Gundyr. A prisoner is one who has staked everything on a belief, a proclivity most apparent in the greatest of champions. So that is fascinating, because it would seem like after Gundyr failed and was bested by an unknown champion, as it were, he was repurposed by the royal family, put there in chains, and became Udex, the prisoner judge, with pus of man kind of put into him to puppeteer his body. It's horrible. Yeah, here we go. Ancient helm of a set of cast iron armor belonging to Champion Gundyr, modeled after a former king. Gundyr, or the belated champion, was bested by an unknown warrior, and that's us. He then became sheathed to a coiled sword in the hopes that someday the first flame would be linked once more. So when he failed, he got turned into the scabbard by the royal family, which is kind of fucked up when you think about it. But what is the royal family of Lothric without being shit?
Welcome. Very then taken.
That's us. That doesn't really do much.
Farewell, I should make.
That is, in fact, us. Now then, now that we've bested him, it's time to go to Firelink Shrine. Yeah, you get Smo's armor for beating Aldrich. We read about it, but I can go back and read about it again if you want. My girl, she loves drinking her water.
She goes nuts for it.
I know. Professor says, drink water. That is your homework. Excuse me. So this, in the past, took us to Firelink Shrine, but we'll have to see what's there instead. But yeah, this is fascinating. There's just nothing. No stars, no moon, no nothing. Except for them. Some black knights still roam this area. The wandering knights. We'll discuss why they're here in due time. Yeah, like, You know, obviously we've come to know that, you know, fire bad, but this world, this dark world seems pretty fucking bad. So let's head on into the shrine. It's the shrine, but there is nothing left. There's nobody here. Fragment of the coiled sword of a bonfire which served its purpose long ago. Returns caster to last bonfire used for resting, or to the bonfire in Firelink Shrine. Can be used repeatedly. So it's essentially an infinite homeward bone. Bonfires are linked to one another irreversibly, retaining their affinity long after their purpose is exhausted. See, it seems like this flame faded away to nothing, but something happened to reignite it. Now, all of the thrones are still here with the same names, but it seems like maybe it may have been the charge of Gundyr to go and bring these dudes back. Esper, I'm going to discuss that, but short answer, yes. Look who it is. She's still here.
Well, fancy that. A lost lamb wandereth in, with nary a peep from the bell. Well, thou shouldst my purpose know. What can this old handmaid provide thee?
So, as we know, she is a prisoner here, and it seems as if she, even when there's no champion, she's just there all the time, which is horrible. And she sells some unique stuff. The main thing is she sells the armor of Artorias. Helm of a knight tainted by the dark of the abyss. The twilight blue tassel is damp and will ever remain so. A vanquished knight left behind only wolf's blood and his legacy of duty. The undead legion of Farron was formed to bear his torch, and the armor of these abyss watchers suggests their own eventual end. That's actually a mistranslation. It actually translates to the abyss watchers saw their own end in the armor, meaning they knew that they were destined to fall to the abyss and came there anyway. Now, she has the priestess ring. A ring engraved with a portrait of the high priestess. In Lothric, the high priestess has long been considered one of the three pillars of the king's rule. The high priestess also served as the prince's wet nurse. So they were in charge of kind of raising and grooming the princes. Now, if we look at it, you know, we see a woman holding a child, but we see her in very familiar robes. Those were the robes Emma was in, but these are also the robes that the shrine handmaid is in, meaning at one point she may have been a high priestess of Lothric, but for some reason she was stuck here, and we'll discuss the reason later on. And you know, I keep saying that. As for why she has Artorias' gear, it's most likely because this place is connected to the Abyss. This is not just a place where the flame went out. It seems as if the Abyss has reclaimed this.
The Lords, by the power of the Dark Sun.
She's gay, that's why she's survived so long.
Queen Dodagonda, thank you very much for the resub. You're right, it's because she's gay. Congratulations on 5 months, almost to the next tier. How exciting.
Well, thou'rt exceeding lost indeed. What can this?
Now, she has some really interesting dialogue
To
here.
skirt the curse's grasp, tarry not for long. 'Tis dark for now, and not a soul stirs. But remember, fires are known to fade in quiet. Or perhaps
I love
thou'rt
that.
captive already. like the poor girl.
But who is that girl she's talking about?
Best not tarry long.
Says it's dark for now and not a soul stirs, but remember, fires are known to fade in quiet. So it seems as if the fire isn't necessarily out right now, but the abyss has come for this place. And that ties into the Firekeeper soul, which we gave to the Firekeeper, so we can't use it yet. But it talks about a Firekeeper that went to the abyss and returned. So it may be that this is the abyss the Firekeeper went to, and that she was captive of the dark already. We also got the blacksmith hammer, meaning the hammer was there waiting for Andre, but Andre himself is not here yet. And yes, you get a sticker, Notorious. Yeah, as we know, the Firekeepers get thrown in a pit when they're done, so she's most likely talking about a Firekeeper of some kind. Metal hammer passed down amongst blacksmiths of the shrine. Serves as a strike weapon, but also excels at reducing poise and breaking the guard of a shield. Of course, a hammer's true potential is realized in the hands of a blacksmith. I will, yes, I'm looking forward to it. As for why the sword is coiled, it's most likely just because, like, coiled stuff is used in fires. There isn't really a specific reason for it. Yes, we're gonna discuss that. Now, you can also find the Hollow's ashes where Yoel was. Remember Yoel of Londor? Umbral ash of a Hollow who faithfully served a woman, only to become separated from her. It takes but a brief glance at this thing to easily envision Londor, the foreboding land of Hollows. We'll come back to Londor in time. Yeah, I think it's in part because they look cool. Do you mind if we turn off the heat?
Yeah.
It's getting a little warm. And then we're going to look around for it. Yeah, I guess before we go in here, because we're about to hit a big old twist, if you go through the entire game without talking to the Shrine Handmaiden at Light Firelink Shrine, then you go and talk to... then you go and talk to the Flameless version, the one in here, and then go back and talk to the one in the Light version. The one in the Light version will actually mention that you look familiar. So that pretty firmly establishes this is the past. Now, if we go through to where Irina is, we can find the corpse of a Firekeeper, perhaps the one that was captive already. And she has the eyes of a Firekeeper. Very unique item. And here's where we're going to get into some deep, deep lore. A pair of dark eyes, said to be the eyes of the first Firekeeper. We don't know the first Firekeeper, but we're going to discuss it. And the light that was lost by all Firekeepers to come. It reveals to the sightless Firekeepers things that they should never see. No, when it says things that they should never see, it's kind of hard to say because, again, these are biased, so who's to say what they actually are? Yeah, I think they clearly aren't like normal human eyes. And there's a reason for that. Go up here, but we can't use the key to get in here. Now, there's an item here that you can only get after beating the Abyss Watchers, which has most likely has something to do about the Abyss Watchers being connected to the Abyss. You can actually do the tree jump here. Yeah, there's nothing up there. And here we have my favorite ring, the Hornet Ring. The one that boosts parries and backstabs, like the one that Kieran had in Dark Souls 1. Ring associated with the Lord's Blade Kieran, one of the 4 Knights of Gwyn. The masked Kieran was the only woman to serve in Gwyn's 4 Knights, and her curved sword granted a swift death to any and all enemies of the throne. Now, her being the only woman is very interesting because, as we know, women are connected to the Dark Moons, and that lends credence to the fact that she played a role in the formation of the Dark Moons. So yeah, we don't know about this first Firekeeper person as of yet, but we'll discuss it. We actually have to get to the DLC to talk about it. But yeah, so it seems like this is not necessarily a natural dark. This is the Abyss that claimed this area and captured a Firekeeper. But that Firekeeper, you know, she died, but she did manage to ring the Bell of Awakening. Yeah, there's nothing here. Not even Pickleby Pumperum are here. Which is, you know, things are bad when they're not here. There's an item over here where the Sword Master is that we need to grab. I mean, we don't need to, but it has lore. And you know how I feel about lore. The Chaos Blade. A cursed sword of unknown origin bearing uncanny streaks on its blade. Attacks also damage its wielder. The sword is not unlike a thing misshapen granted life, but never welcome in this world. In other words, chaos itself. So this is another thing that shouldn't be in the world and is here. So yeah, it seems like at some point in the past, the Abyss came and claimed Firelink Shrine, but something happened to pull it out. Now, if you remember, Ludlith brought up... Bye, Bella. Ludlith brought up the fact that the Firekeeper and I are both prisoners, and so he probably knows something about this.
Ah, found her, did we?
Here we go. I love this
and
dialogue.
the black eyes that shimmer within, I see. 'Tis as if it were but yesterday. We did all we could to spare her from them. Much has happened since. Mayhap I should apprise thee of what the thin light of these eyes might reveal to the eyeless Firekeeper.
So good.
Scenes of betrayal, things never intended for her ken, visions of this age's end.
So that is fascinating. Basically what he's saying is the first Firekeeper had visions of the end of the Age of Fire, of the Dark. And so it seems like they most likely... How best to put it? They most likely blinded the Firekeepers so they couldn't see the Age's End, because it seems like being connected to the fire lets them see a world without fire, and that's why they take their eyes. But Ludlith was around for the person who had those eyes. That was not the first Firekeeper, but it seems like the eyes can pass from Firekeeper to Firekeeper. And so he may have been the Lord that linked the flame after, you know, the whole Gundyr fiasco. But that is uncertain.
The eyes a place. So, I what?
Oh yeah, hang on.
The eyes show a world destitute of fire, a barren plain of endless darkness, a place born of betrayal. So, I willed myself Lord to link the fire, to paint a new vision. What is thine intent?
I love that dialogue there. Basically, he's saying, you know, that world of dark was horrible to him, so he linked the flame to create something new. As for why that was horrifying to him, we'll discuss it in time. But yeah, he's asking what my intent is, as in, like, we have the option to give these to the Firekeeper. And that leads into the ending we're going for, so we're gonna give her the eyes. Yeah, all of his dialogue is top-notch. Anastasia in Dark Souls 1 doesn't have a tongue because it was cut out because she questioned the linking of the fire. Okay.
So, what is... Now. Aha, so...
Does he have anything else to say? Yeah, it seems like he doesn't necessarily regret linking the flame, because, I mean, he came back, but he doesn't seem to be opposed to stopping it either. Now, we can get more lore from him, but unfortunately we do have to kill him. The thing is, if you kill him, he comes back, but you get unique dialogue, so don't be too angry at me for this. And he drops the skull ring. Now that ring is fascinating. One of Corlin's transposed wonders, derived from the soul of a soul feeder. The soul feeder was a beast that insatiably absorbed souls to feed its own power, even after its accursed corpse was burned. It is said that the pungent stench of souls left the air permanently stained. So it seems like Ludlith took the soul of the soul feeder and turned it into a ring. He doesn't mind. While we do that, let me drop my links real quick. Don't forget to follow and subscribe, because I don't know how much longer I can keep doing this. That sounds like I'm really depressed. I'm not. I'm just talking about financially. Yeah, it does sound like the protagonist, and I think that's on purpose. Yeah, I think they're just like, you know, whatever.
See, not. I am a lord. Are we flame? Belike. But I shoulder the world. Forgive me. Oh, please. I am not to blame. I'm not. Beg pardon, I must have
Blessing of the moon upon your journey.
So, happened upon any twisted souls?
Now that is fascinating. Heebie-jeebie, thank you for the follow.
The eyes? So what is...
So the question is, like, he seems to be protesting, claiming that he is a lord, demanding that he is a lord, because it seems as if he maybe only partially linked the flame and was blamed for his failure. He does have some more dialogue. I promise I'm not just doing this because I'm mean. I love Ludlith as a character, but his dialogue is so important. Hopefully we didn't miss some dialogue earlier. I'm worried that we did. If not, I'll have to read it out myself. Listen, I will sacrifice anything to teach my students. Oh, yeah. Okay, he doesn't have... He has some other dialogue where basically he talks about how it burns, about how the flame singeth to the bone, as he says, and that he can't bear it. And so it seems as if, like, when it came to being consumed by the flame, even though he was strong enough, he didn't want to, or he couldn't complete it. Now, the ring offers some interesting insight, because if he has the power of the soul feeder, was it really his soul that... Was it really his soul that let him link the flame, or was he like us in Dark Souls 1, collecting a bunch of souls and then offering them to the flame within himself? So now, the question is, do we give the eyes to the Firekeeper? I mean, you know what I'm going to do, but do we give them now, or do we think about it?
Ah. Grish Iona.
I've seen the theory that Ludlith is the soul feeder. I don't buy it, but it's an interesting theory.
Ashen One.
If you don't have a good Lord Soul store-bought, it's fine. Oh, that's funny. Points for you. Time to hydrate for my girl to freak out. I bet she gets thirsty. Let's give her the eyes.
Welcome home, Ashen One. Ashen One, are these eyes? How gracious of thee, Ashen One. The very things we Firekeepers have been missing.
Now this is... If you listen closely, actually, the music in the shrine changes when you give her the eyes.
Ashen One, my thanks for the eyes thou hast given. But Firekeepers are not meant to have eyes. It is forbidden. These will reveal through a sliver of light frightful images of betrayal. A world without fire. Ashen One, is this truly thy wish?
Now we know the truth. Like, we know the truth about the flame, and our character does now too, and so the world would be better off without.
Of course. I serve thee, and will do as thou bidst. This will be our private affair. No one else may know of this. Stay thy path. Find lords to link the fire, and I will blindly tend to the flame. Until the day of thy grand betrayal.
Now this is where she becomes one of my favorite characters. The fact that she starts to express agency. And here's some really good dialogue, if she says it here.
Ashen One,
I love this.
forgive me if this soundeth strange. The eyes show a world without fire. A vast stretch of darkness. But 'tis different to what is seen when stripped of vision. In the far distance, I sense the presence of tiny flames, like precious embers, left to us by past lords, linkers of the fire. Could this be what draws me to this strangely enticing darkness? Ashen One, if thine heart should bend, kill me, and strip these eyes from my person.
I would never.
I will return as the Firekeeper I once was, as it has always been. Farewell,
This is
Ashen One. Mayst thou thy peace discover.
I love that line, because she basically, she changes what she says. In the past she said, may the flames guide thee. But here she says, mayst thou thy peace discover. Meaning she wants you to find your own path. And I think that's super interesting, and this is where we start to see more of her agency as a character, which is great. I love when characters have agency. Because she talks about liking the idea of the darkness. and the tiny flames within, which could perhaps represent the power of people that exist in that darkness. The musical change in this area is really good, and what's actually interesting is that it is connected to Gwyn's theme. It has similar motifs, except it's played on the black piano keys instead of the white piano keys, just to show how much of an inverse this is of Gwyn's will.
Aha, that's so.
See what?
The eyes.
Okay, yeah.
What is?
Oh yeah, here we go.
I took the mantle of Lord of Cinder of mine own volition. I speak these words with pride. Choose thy fate alone. Seize it with thine own hands. All the more should thy fate entail such foul betrayal.
So it seems he may have returned here out of obligation, but he's saying, like, do what you have to do. If what you have to do is betray the fire, then do it.
Ah, yes,
Does she have anything else to say?
there is one.
Okay, yeah.
Yes. Do stay.
She has some really interesting stuff to say later, but we haven't gotten there yet. So yeah, that was a lot to take in. And so, like, I can answer questions, but that's... Yeah. It seems like when the Abyss claimed... When the Abyss claimed Firelink Shrine in the past, before somebody, probably Ludleth, linked the flame, the eyes were found there in that darkness, and the Firekeeper was either overcome by it or killed for having them. Which she may have been killed by it, which led to Gundyr not being able to meet her. And that's because the eyes, show that the end to the Age of Fire isn't necessarily a bad thing. Now, we're gonna unpack that as time goes by, but we have some stuff to tackle here first. We have the various statues of the various people. The scholar ones seem to have, like, vines growing out of them. But here's where stuff gets weird. Because we have a statue of a primordial serpent. Somehow the serpents are connected to Lothric. Now, it's harder to see in-game, but in the models, it shows that these statues were built more recently. And these statues actually have wings, meaning they could be connected to the angelic faith. Well, he really tricked people. Okay. Here we go. Yeah, Irina being in the exact same place is very much symbolic, especially because she can succumb to the Abyss. Are the serpents still around? I'll get to that once we finish going through Lothric, I'll say that. But the wings could mean that they're connected to this angelic faith. And here we go. The hunters known as the King's Black Hands wielded paired weapons. These belonged to Goddard, who fled the castle. Goddard rose quickly through the knighthood, no surprise to those who have witnessed his swordsmanship. But he seemed to have run away, so the King's Black Hand seems to be in disarray. We also got the key to the Grand Archives. Key to the main entrance to the Grand Archives of Lothric. With the fire fading and the spreading pus of man tainting the castle, the Grand Archives closed its doors for good. So it seems like when the fire faded, pus of man started to kind of spread out and infect everything. Well, there's actually cut content to demonstrate that they are wings. Today, only a few of its keys remain. This one likely belonged to Goddard, one of the King's Black Hands who fled the castle. So it seems like he was like, fuck this, I'm out of here. So these are the Grand Archives, and we've seen archives before with the Duke's archives. So no wonder they worshipped Seath. And this is another... And there's a Crystal Sage! Because remember it mentions there's 2 of them? Here's the other one. It's actually teased really early on that the other one went to ally with the Scholars, and that is a guy with wax all over his head and a candle on his head. So what's up with that? I also love these designs. These motherfuckers are here too. What, in 1 or in 3? That's a lot of books, and there's a lot of these lads. And they all have wax on their heads. And they're actually all gathered around this pool of wax with the statue of a scholar on one side and a statue of a serpent on the other. Oh, yeah, you're right. It does show up there. And so, yes, we can put our head in the wax. Now, I can hear you saying, but Professor, but esteemed, talented, and wise Professor, why the fuck would you do that? And this is why. These hands come out of the books, and if you don't have the wax on, they will actually curse you. But esteemed, talented, and wise Professor, thank you, that is me. It seems as if this wax kind of blocks the curse. As for why the books... Yeah, pacing does feel kind of weird, you're not wrong. Yes, it is too soon. I know, I love Dunkhead in wax. Witch's Locks and Power Within, which is interesting because it's all around these bones and whatnot. Both these are connected to pyromancy. A whip fashioned from the black hair of a daughter of the Witch of Izalith, creator of the Flame of Chaos. The long, shining locks woven together to create this whip are imbued with the essence of fire, which can be channeled through use of its skill. So yeah, these are both connected to Izalith, meaning these researchers may have actually traveled to Izalith at some point. Yeah, it's basically wearing a mask so the COVID hands don't get you. Oh yeah, that's just the same as it was in the first game. Yeah, it would be nice to have a boss in here, but... Yeah, so as for why the books have hands coming out of them, that's because the knowledge in them is, like, legitimately cursed, and, like, without some sort of medium to block, like, to protect you from it, just being in the presence of the knowledge can make you go insane. It's kind of vague, and I know I'm being vague about it, but basically, it's knowledge that is too much for people to handle. As we do the hats off thing right now, I can't change it while the wax is on. When the wax is off, I can change it. The wax isn't on permanently. I don't even need whatever that is. I just want it.
Now thou art a blade of
You
the dark
motherfucker.
moon, hunteth the enemies of the lords by the power of the dark sun.
Bazinga.
Mango Cubes, thank you very much for the resub. Congrats on 2 months. Welcome back. Bazinga indeed. Nice. Now that dude doesn't respawn, which is great. Oh yeah, those dudes throw wax on you and they can slow you down or even make it so you can't roll. Okay, yeah, so wax on, now wax off. Yeah, as you can see, if you don't have the wax on, if you walk in them, you get cursed. Because the knowledge is... yeah. The knowledge in them is cursed, and probably connected to Seath, so that may be knowledge that drove the Scholars and Osiris insane, but it's hard to say for certain, and we're going to come back to it. But yeah, now you can do the hats off if you want, but I'm going to try to get back in the wax. Now then. Secret Crystal Scroll of the Grand Archives of Lothric. These sorceries are the work of the Pale Drake, Seath the Scaleless, whom Logan is said to have met, a branch of sorcery that has been carried on by the Crystal Sages. So the Sages have carried on Seath's cursed, like, magic. And that's what led people to go fucking insane. Yeah, it does give you negative fire absorption. I saw the Limit Breakers video. Oh god. Oh man, that was close. Yeah, no, he met with Seath and talked with him. And then got imprisoned by him. Like a loser. Oh. Yeah, you find him in a jail cell. So let's go through here, and it's an Outrider night. It's one of these motherfuckers again. Everybody's favorite bastards. Now, the fact that they're here is very interesting, because these guys work for Sullivan. Meaning, Sullivan may have had his sights set on Lothric after he had finished conquering, Irithyll. Which is probably why the Dancer is there. It seems likely that the Dancer may have been sent there as kind of like a scout. Yeah. He's also guarding this, Soulstream. Sorcery imparted by the first of the Scholars, when Lothric and the Grand Archives were but young. The first of the Scholars doubted the linking of the fire, and was alleged to be a private mentor to the royal prince. So it seems like this first Scholar may have played a role in convincing Lothric to stop linking the flame. But we don't know for sure which royal prince it was. And it's possible... There's a theory spreading from that the first of the Scholars was Sullivan, but the timeline for that doesn't match up. I actually have a separate theory about who the first of the Scholars is, but we will, we're gonna have to talk about Dark Souls 2 to get to it. But yeah, I personally don't vibe with the theory that Sullivan... Sullivan was the first Scholar. But people like it. Yeah, that's... The use of Lothric and Lothric gets so complicated. That's what you get when you name your kid after a country. Because you don't care about him enough to give him an actual name. Like some kind of asshole. That statue is not of Sullivan. It doesn't resemble Sullivan at all. It just, it reuses an asset of one of the swords that he uses, but it would make no sense for that to be Sullivan.
Welcome us. Very well. Then take none.
Nice, Athena. Yeah, exactly. You're exactly right, Esper. Like, Lothric the person was never meant to have any agency because they didn't really care about Lothric as a person, just about the service that they would provide.
Farewell, Ashley.
Hi, Will. We are... Oh man, we're getting through this way faster than I thought we would. But we are getting close to my favorite boss of all time. Yeah, no, Lothric abandoning the throne makes so much sense. Yeah, exactly. Lothric was purely a means to an end, and that's why I personally consider him one of the single most sympathetic characters in the entire series, and one of my favorite. And it's just awesome how you can entirely learn that from item descriptions, and that's what made me fall in love with Souls lore, was just how much my understanding of the character was changed by those descriptions. Fuck all of you. So as we know, the archives seem to have went and grabbed items from various places. Like stuff from Izalith. It seems like another place they went is the Profane Capital, judging by the gargoyles they have being powered by either the Profane Flame or something resembling it. Of course, they could also just be a Dark Souls 1 reference. But yeah, God, the visuals of this area are so pretty. But yeah, the Pilgrim Butterflies are connected to the Angelic Faith, and we'll discuss that when we get to the DLC. Yeah, no, Lothric had a rough go of it. Now, this is interesting, is again, we have the existence of Corvians here, much like the Untended Graves. And they continue to be a pain in the ass to fight. Can you people fuck off? But yeah, because as we know, they were all about, like, the painting and the forlorn. And so it seems as if they migrate around, just following, like, the stories and where they take them. I know that sounds really vague, but I'm gonna get to it. Good night, Ariel. I hope you feel better. Oh yeah, time for sadness, by the way. Just a heads up. Oh, it's also worth noting that a character that is coming up soon has the same VA as Gwendolyn, so keep an ear out. Our poor friend Grey Rat unfortunately fell while exploring the archives. Poor guy. But in a way, I feel like this is what he wanted. As weird as that sounds, I think that he said he didn't want to just sit around and Firelink Shrine forever. He wanted to go thieving. And how it ended is sad, but at least he died doing what he believed in. Umbralash of Greyrat of the Undead Settlement. Greyrat was a thief who fancied himself a martyr for the poor, which is what drove him to climb the wall. So he may have been trying to either get revenge or take from the wealth of the Kingdom of Lothric, which, you know, anti-capitalist king. I forget what this lever even does. But there's some stuff around here I need. I just need to remember how to get to it. Yeah, no, I love Grey Rat. He's great. Rat. More like Great Rat. He did have a good hat. Even if people that like to say slurs on YouTube like to wear it. That's not his fault. I hate these fucking things. I can't move. I'm stuck in the sticky.
Gross.
Yeah, no, I like Grey Rat. He's a good character. Boys. Stuck in the sticky. My god, I just realized, like, today we hit 5K total views for the channel, which is awesome. Thank you all so much. We're at 585 follows, too. Scholar ring. That has some lore. Ow. I really, really wish I could do more since y'all have been so great, but like... I'm going to have to look into finances for the coming year, so I don't know how much longer I'm going to be able to keep doing this as frequently as I do. But we'll see. Anyway, Scholar Ring. A ring engraved with the portrait of a scholar increases intelligence. In Lothric, the scholar has long been considered one of the 3 pillars of the king's rule, and is therefore master of the Grand Archives.
Ah. Well, but as by now there isn't. Ashen whatnot.
Yeah, I'd love to keep doing it, but it brings in like $100 a month if I'm lucky. And that's for 48 hours. Or how many hours is it? Yeah, it's for 48 hours a month. And that evens out to not a lot. But I also love doing it, so I'd love to make it work. I just have to, you know, get the rest of the game written and then probably open up, like, commissions and Patreon. I do kind of miss doing commissions, they're fun. And hopefully the next batch of commissions would be a little bit less not safe for work. Not that I have a problem with writing not safe for work, but a lot of people wanted the same thing. Writing, yeah. Basically, I used to do them when I was, like, younger and didn't really make much money on it, but, like, now that I'm a professional writer, it's something a little more viable. But obviously, like, time-consuming. Perks of being a pro, I suppose. Now then. Anyway, forgive an old woman's ramblings. Get out of here. Oh, that's a second one in there. You took my lizard. Yeah, I don't do art commissions. I can't draw for shit. See, it's interesting. It seems like the scholars worked to acquire some really dark, like, magic from a lot of different places. His face is just like that, and there's a reason why. There's actually canon evidence to suggest that his face is just like that. Is the ring that reduces enemy poison this game? It is, but it doesn't really make a ton of difference. Oh my god, 2 gargoyles, just like Dark Souls 1. Fuck off. Haha, can't touch this. Now then, where was I? Okay, so yeah, as we go through here, we can see a statue of a priest, or of a scholar covered in wax. It's interesting because it looks like the wax was put on the existing statue, meaning originally they didn't delve into cursed stuff. And yeah, here's another instance where we see a number of, like, royal figures, and then Rachel commissions are her wagging her finger at you, explaining that simping for the snakeless gods isn't acceptable. I will wag my finger as a commission. I haven't played Ashes yet. Lothric has so many OSHA violations. But yeah, here we have more statues of serpents with wings, once again suggesting that serpents were connected to the angelic faith. Now, as we know, serpents are against the linking of the fire, so it's entirely possible that maybe those serpents played a role in the Age of Fire, like, the angelic church doubting the linking of the fire. But it's hard to say. I have a theory about it, but I'm gonna wait. Yeah, those dudes there are the Black Hand, like Osiris's dudes, who are guarding you from going up there. We are gonna fight them. Also worth noting that one of them is daughter of Crystal Crimeld. In fact, all three of them are people that you can either summon or be invaded by, which is fascinating.
Farewell, mate.
Totally wasted that 20k.
Ashen Magma.
Oh yeah, we can give the crystal scroll to our boy here.
Back again, Master. Unfathomable.
I'm glad he appreciates our
Crystal
gifts.
sorcery, created by the Pale Dragon, thought only to exist in legend. I am ever
Why are you
grateful to
whispering?
This is truly sublime. I am afraid this is a debt I cannot repay. Only, I will be sure to unravel it for you. Just a moment.
Trying to see which one of these are... Let's see. Oh yeah, according to the Crystal Sages, Old Big Hat achieved enlightenment within the Regal Archives, where he came to find the quintessence of sorcery in the facets of a certain crystal. However, as we know, he did not become enlightened, he went insane. And so, it seems like the cursed knowledge that they believed to be, like, useful probably slowly drove them insane. Yeah, the only game theories you should trust are mine.
Again, let us... come again.
Yeah, now we can fight the Black Hand fellers. Man, I want to switch to a different weapon, but the Sellsword Twin Blades are just so good. Yeah, I think there's a lot of, like, romanticizing of the eras of the past in this game. Or, like, in the series. Virgin Big Hat versus Chad Artorias, exactly. Alright, time to fight the squad. These motherfuckers are a huge pain in the ass. Oh boy. Okay, that's one. Ugh. Oh my god, they do so much damage. Shit. Wrong button. Can you stop with that? Please? Sandwiched. Nope. Oh, I got the partial. Okay, I need to stop trying to be cute and actually fight them. No, he was on the stairs. Oh, I almost got him down the elevator. Don't you heal on me. Fine, I'll heal. See how you like it. Jesus Christ. Sweet Jesus. The gods are, in fact, just boomers. Except for Gwendolyn, who's cool.
It's true.
We talk a lot of shit about the gods, but Gwendolyn doesn't count because she's cool. You motherfucker. Stop it. There we go. Pain in my fucking ass. I love his weapon. I kind of want to use it, but it's just so much heavier. I'd have to change out my armor. Get staggered. Lol. Gwendolyn, oh, I guess you are my little pog champ. Oh my god. Trying to think. I'm trying to see if any of these have some actual lore, because a lot of them are just like flavor text. Did I not pick up her staff? What the heck? Oh. Sage's crystal staff. Lothric's a zoomer. Gwendolyn's a millennial. She's like an early millennial. Crystal Catalyst presented as a gift by the Crystal Sages to their favorite pupil, Crymild. Good for you. Crystal spheres devour the will of the user, and this staff increases the potency of sorceries at the cost of increased FP consumption for skills. That is super interesting. Basically, it speaks to, like, the madness of Crystal. Like, it makes them stronger, but at what cost? Okay, I'm gonna level. We're gonna check a little bit more lore, and then we are going to hit up my favorite boss of all time.
Farewell.
So don't go nowhere. Promise? Okay, who's being PogChamp? Alright. We are so close. We are so close to my favorite boss. I am so excited. I'm so hyped. I'm ready. I'm so ready. I'm glad you were able to stop by too. Oh shit. It's an underrated boss. Like, I've seen it on a lot of best boss lists, but not at #1. Oh boy, I can't curse for the next 2 minutes. Oh, fudge. Okay, we're gonna go up here now. So that is interesting. These are not the winged knights that we have seen before. These are not them. These are much larger, much stronger, and much more, you know, having fucking wing. Or having flipping wing. Okay, restart the timer.
For how long? 5 minutes? 2 minutes?
2 minutes. Restart the timer.
Okay. Do you want me to start start a timer right now?
Sure.
Okay. And timer is set.
I like to curse. It's a part of my vocabulary.
Then you shouldn't have put that as I almost said something. Then you shouldn't have put that as a reward.
It's a challenge to myself. To reward my loyal followers and viewers by letting them torture me on stream. Hunter's Ring. Ring engraved with the portrait of a hunter. Increases dexterity. The reward says 10 minutes?
No, it doesn't. Hold on a second.
I thought it was 2.
There must be some mistake. I'm gonna look at the rewards right now. It literally just says no cursing. Unless there's a description you can click that I don't know about.
Oh my god, somebody else redeemed it. Oh my god, you monsters.
Alright, once this timer is up, I'll put 4 more minutes on it.
Oh my god.
Okay, so 20 minutes on the timer.
Oh, sweet Moses. Do they stack? I don't know.
20 minutes, y'all.
You can't. You can't.
Okay, so 10 minutes. Okay, if you keep doing it, I'm going to... Okay, now that's only 9 minutes now, because you keep adding on to it. Every time you add on to it, I'm getting rid of it. So, yep, 8 minutes on the clock. Alright, only 8 minutes.
Okay. Oy vey. I can do more than... Oh boy. I can do more than 8 minutes, but...
No, you only have to do 8 minutes, because I said so, but I'm the boss.
That's true. I feel bad.
You guys think you're real cute, don't you? I'm about to be hilarious.
Okay, well, what hat do you want? Stretch. Okay, I'm gonna stretch. I don't want to know what my VTuber's doing right now. While I'm making those motions.
She was just kind of like turning her head and stuff.
Oh, okay. I mean, that is my actual face, so that makes sense. Well, let me know when you pick a hat. Gray hat?
Alright, time for the fucking meme hat.
Meme hat it is. Oh, okay. The little hat under Lothric Knight. Okay. Okay. Cool. We look good. We look good as heck.
How do I redeem an I love my wife so much from me?
You redeem it every day. I love you. The old sorcerer hat. You get it in the Earthhill dungeon. I'm trying to sneak attack these dudes, because there's only the one wandering one, and if you take him down, you can do it without aggroing the others. So yeah, these guys have actual, like, wings. Meaning, like, that the angelic faith isn't bogus. Like, clearly it worked. Oh my god. Emote-only chat is 2 minutes. I'm gonna have to turn it on for 2 minutes once I have a second free. Okay. People are killing me. Okay, 2 minutes.
Here I am redeeming my I love my wife points.
I love you too. You are my everything, and I treasure you every single day. Oh my god. Panic roll. Is that really all I do, even with the Hornet Ring? These guys are tanky as heck. Tanky as all get out. Yeah, mods can type. Ah! Oh yeah, they can do that. They can call down divine pillars of light, which are full of feathers, by the way. Pay attention. Obviously, feathers are connected with wings, but it seems like the magic related to the angelic faith is also connected with like wings. Man, those Titanite slabs would be really useful if, like, I was using a different, cooler weapon. Which I probably should. Oh yeah, before I do this, I have to go do Cirrus's questline, too. Now here is interesting. Here we have, like, a cell full of feathers with the divine pillars of light in the middle of it. Miracle of Gertrude, the Heavenly Daughter. The Queen's holy maiden Gertrude was visited by an angel, who revealed this tale to her. Despite losing both her sight and her voice, she was determined to record the tale. Ordinary men cannot decipher her fragmentary scrawl, nor comprehend how it became the foundation of the angelic faith of Lothric. Okay. You can type again. You can type again. So yeah, since she was visited by an angel and there's the statues of angels, it's most likely that the angel she was visited by was a primordial serpent.
There's feathers everywhere.
Well, the magic seems to be angelic. What's also interesting is that one of Rosaria's grubs is here, and it also has, like, feathers associated with its magic. As to why that is, we're gonna have to get deep into the Rosaria plotline to explain that, but just remember that that one is there. Because it's relevant. Yeah, apparently, like, it literally turned her blind.
So if there's no cursing, does that mean, like, what if you want to read a message out loud that has cursing in it? Do you have to censor yourself?
Probably.
Alright. So I know sometimes you like reading messages out loud and then replying to them.
Welcome.
Because, like, you know,
Very well,
probably
then take nourishment.
who don't know the chat.
Yeah. And I also love my viewers and want to share what they have to say.
Farewell, Asher Maiden.
Be not afraid.
I am very afraid.
Be not afraid, sexy. Uh-huh.
That is good, wasn't he?
Oh my god. I'm not afraid. You're so sexy.
Oh, fudge. There was an Estus shard I forgot to get up there. Shucks.
Oh, am I not allowed to swear either?
No, you can swear. I'm just saying
okay.
shucks.
Shucks. You can do this. I'm looking at the timer. You don't have much time left. I'm not going to tell the chat how much time is left because I don't want them to be like, ooh, I'm going to redeem another one as soon as it's up. Because you're all bastards.
I thought it was kind of funny.
They're like jowls.
I hate it.
Good.
Yeah, the Angelic Faith was going to be expanded upon more in cut content, but it's connected to a lot of cut content regarding Lothric and the Civil War in Lothric, which was cut in part for a giant no-homo that we are going to discuss later. I'm gonna see how long I can go without swearing still. I nearly just swore.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna mess it up. Oh yeah, Jonah and the Whale. Don't remind me. Oh yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of no-homos in this, like Sigurd calling Yorm an old friend, even though clearly they were romantically involved. Changing Henri's gender so there's no hint of gay subtext. Making sure it's always the opposite. Oh yeah, so worth noting, all of these guys guarding this path here are wearing blue, which, as we know, is connected to the Angelic Faith, meaning whoever or whatever's in here, the Angelic Faith wants to make sure nobody can get to it. And obviously the weird handling of Gwendolyn. There's just a lot of issues. Dark Souls 2 definitely no-homoed it. Especially involving some certain DLC characters that I'm not going to talk about because spoilers. Yeah, that's what's fascinating about Miyazaki, is that he's like... What's fascinating about Miyazaki is that it's like... he is super good at accidentally creating really good LGBT characters, but hates it, and so constantly tries to, like, weasel out of it.
Just wasn't he?
I don't really see how that's relevant.
Pretty be careful.
Yeah, no, it's kind of funny. Ironic. Yeah, it seems like the boys in blue don't want you to go into those doors, but we're gonna. Let's not mention Dark Souls 2 characters yet, because we are doing Dark Souls 2 Lorethrough after this. Gay potential, that's funny. Oh boy. No worries. Alright. Here we go. Here we go. I am so excited. It's worth noting that this door has the 3 pillars of rule on it. There's a knight, a scholar, and a high priestess. Oh yeah, I love these characters. It's because they're connected to the deep. So yeah, when we're talking about angels, this entire room is full of feathers. So also connected to the angels. And that right there is Lothric, the person we've been seeking out this whole time. This poor, poor guy. And yeah, as we can see, he looks a little rough. He looks to be bedbound, with very slim arms, and the robe that it's mentioned is the only thing he can wear. Also, the music here is so good.
Oh dear. Another dogged contender. Welcome, unkindled one.
I love his voice.
Purloiner of cinders.
Yeah, look at his fingers.
Mind you, the mantle of Lord interests me none.
That's correct. He does have the same VA.
Curse, the legacy of lords. Let it all fade into
Well, that's something.
You've done quite enough. Now have your rest.
Lorien, Elder Prince. So, Lothric hasn't been alone up here. Somebody's been guarding him. This is somebody who also seems to be very much disabled. He can't walk. Doesn't seem like he can speak either. But he moves around by Lothric teleporting him around, because Lothric can't move much, but he's incredibly strong magically because of the strength of his soul. God, their theme's so good. The violins. You'll notice his sword seems to be burnt. They are very pale. That's actually quite relevant.
Oh, dear brother.
Look at how frail he is.
I'm on my way.
He can barely move.
My brother.
God, this blew me away. First playthrough, I'm gonna be quiet.
Lothric's prince. Rise if you would. For that is our curse.
Oh my god. He can't even walk, he's just hanging off of him. Now is where it gets hard.
This spot marks our grave, but you may rest here too, if you like.
So the thing about Lothric is, it seems like that when he starts hanging off Lorien, it makes Lorien stronger. Like somehow just like him like holding on to him is like just giving him strength.
Yeah. Because it seems like there's some... Oh yeah, his death quote. The quote when you die is so smug.
Smug anime Lothric.
God. Yeah, like it comes across as smug, but not necessarily malicious.
He's like, I'm not moving from this spot. Like, you can stay here too, but I'm not going anywhere.
Especially his words... like, this spot marks our grave. He knows that he's going to die there. Yeah, no, when I had such a hard time with this boss, and, like, I struggled so much with the first phase, and then when I beat it, like, and he got back up, my mind was just fucking blown.
Leave him alone.
Turning up the music because I love it so much. It's also worth noting that in the second phase, the music has vocals, but not in the first phase, to represent the fact that only Lothric is able to speak. Yeah, no, this is one of the emotionally hardest bosses in the series. Like, I feel so bad for them, and whatever curse binds them doesn't necessarily seem like a thing they're happy with. And also, it's, again, worth noting his body proportions. He has these long arms with slender claw-like fingers, suggesting that, you know, whatever happened to him, it may have been related to the dragon worship of, you know, Osiris, meaning he may have essentially genetically experimented on his own son.
Which is fucked up.
It's possible that he was attempting to create a crossbreed, but failed, and the body was just... The soul was given strength, as evidenced by the magic, but his body was completely destroyed. It's also worth noting that Lothric is the only spellcaster in the series that can use magic without needing a catalyst. Like, without needing something to cast from. Even Gwendolyn needs a staff. Yeah. But yeah, no, the Gwendolyn parallels are very much there, and we're gonna discuss it, but the parallels are intentional. Oh boy. Here's the question, right? If he can come back, how many times have they done this? With all of the feathers and whatnot, those feathers come about with the magic. It's possible they've done this, like, countless times before.
I'm on my way.
Yeah, other people have come for them. And Lorien, who knows how many times he's died for Lothric's sake.
Unyielding sword of Lothric's prince.
Because he can't...
Rise if you were.
He literally can't die as long as Lothric is alive. Or he can't permanently die. Yeah. It's so sad. These poor kids, they never asked for any of this. And just, like, hanging there limp. Like, he... Yeah. Yeah, no, they literally just want people to leave them alone. They just want to let the fire fade. Oh, God. Thank you for letting me heal. It's worth noting, he uses the same kind of magic as the man grubs that Rosaria has. Hang on, I might have fucked up Sirius's questline. I hope I didn't. I'm not sure if you have to do it before you fight the princes. The only way to actually end the fight is to kill Lothric, specifically. That is Lothric augmenting the strike, yes. When he uses it while Lothric is on his back, you can actually see Lothric buffing the sword. Oh no. Also, as Lorien gets up, he literally stretches out his arm to protect Lothric. Like, his first instinct is to protect him. It's so sad. It's so sad. Poor guys. But we do have to talk about lore. As for why we can't just talk it out, we'll discuss it. Yeah. For the other ones, it's their skulls. We literally just had to take Lothric's head. And I love his line there at the end, just, you remain among the accursed. Because again, he refers to it as the fire-linking curse, and he's right. We know that. Soul of the twin princes. Now that's fascinating. The two of them are put together. The two princes rejected their duty to become Lords of Cinder and settled down far, far away to watch the fire fade from a distance. A curse makes their souls nearly inseparable. Yeah. Basically, they shared the same soul, and so that's why Lorien couldn't truly die until Lothric did. And poor beautiful boy. Lorien is the less bright one, yeah. The Lothric bloodline was obsessed with creating a worthy heir, and when this proved impossible, resorted to unspeakable means. Suffice it to say, the path to linking the fire is a cursed one indeed. So yeah, they used some sort of experimentation to turn him into that, and they rejected it. Prince Lothric's straight-sword, blessed by Emma with potent magic. So basically, Emma was Lothric's wet nurse, and she raised him and groomed him to be a sacrifice. So she is 100% a villain. Young Lothric was meant to be a champion, and was expected to wield this platinum sword, but some things will remain distant dreams forever, because he was literally too weak to hold a sword. Ultra Great Sword of Lorien, Prince Lothric's older brother, cast in smoldering molten steel and stained black. Before Lorien embraced his brother's curse, he was a knight who single-handedly slayed the demon prince, but the victory eternally scorched his sword with flame. We'll discuss the demon prince in time. I know, like, one of my closest friends is named Emma, and I always feel so bad saying Emma is a villain. Now we can get some lore from this, too. We will talk about it in time. I have some other stuff I want to cover. Actually, we can probably talk about it now. I just want to do this. Armor of Prince Lothric's older brother, Lorien. This black-dyed brass helm is patterned with flame. Lorien, raised as a knight, is said to have been left mute and crippled by his younger brother's curse. It is also said that Lorien, in fact, wished it so. It was not a curse that Lothric placed on him. He asked Lothric to place that curse on them so he could protect him, like, eternally. Which is so sad.
Farewell.
Now, I'm gonna grab some stuff about the Twin Prince's Greatsword, which is a weapon you can get only on New Game Plus. If you get both swords of theirs, you can fuse it into one sword. Yeah, no, it's super sad. And the sword you can mix together is sword forged from the reunion of the inseparable swords born from the souls of Lothric and Lorien, the twin princes. Their union is rooted in a curse and perpetuated by grief. Now, here's the thing, right? When we're talking about cut content, they were not originally brothers. That's why, you know, they're alternately referred to as the twin princes and the older and younger prince, and the fact that Lorien was raised as a knight and all the other various things. This is because, yeah, they were not originally meant to be brothers. They were originally meant to be... Originally, Lorien was meant to be Lothric's faithful knight, who betrayed the royal family and sacrificed everything for the sake of protecting his, like, lord. But then Miyazaki was like, hang on, that's a little gay. And so he was like, let's make it so they're brothers instead. But then it just came across as weird.
Pretty big like that.
Yeah, like, they mention him as a knight, not as a prince, even though he's referred to as a prince. Yeah, exactly. I love these weapons. They're worse than the Sellsword Twin Blades, but they look so cool. Yeah. Like, that's the thing is, they wrote it gay, and it's upsetting because now it's just, like, weird. And I really want that world where they, I really want the original timeline where they were just, like, a knight and a prince that were in love instead of, like, weird brothers. There's actually some really great cut dialogue from Lothric that I adore that reinforces that point. I know the Goddard Straight Swords are good, but I think the moveset for Onikiri Ubudachi is really cool looking. I might do Goddard, but I don't have enough chunks for it. He had cut dialogue, and it's really good, and I want to, like, do an impression of him for it, because Lothric is one of the few characters I'm actually able to, like, voice, because his voice is androgynous enough for me to make it work. Yeah, I don't have enough.
Pretty big like that.
But I don't know if you guys want to hear my bad Lothric impression, or if I should just read it normal. Yeah. It sucks too, because his VA did such a great job with it. And yeah, I think the fact that him and Gwendolyn have the same VA is very relevant. I think similar things happened to them. Okay, I have to say, like, a normal line from him just to, like, get into the zone. Excuse me. I'm, like, getting in the zone. Hang on. Oh dear. Another dogged contender. Welcome, unkindled one. Purloiner of cinders. Oh, that was so bad. It was so bad.
That's fine.
Okay, I'm just gonna go for it. So after he says, like, mind you, the mantle of Lord interests me none. What he says is, ill-starred are they that take the throne. I shall not stand among them. The royal sword of Lothric will grant you peace. Thank you. Like, first of all, I love the line, ill-starred are they that take the throne, I shall not stand among them. But the thing there is that, again, it doesn't refer to Lorien as his brother. It refers to him as the royal sword. Basically a knight of, a knight that serves Lothric, like the person. And so I think the reason a lot of stuff got cut out is that this is based on cut content and speculation. But I believe that Lorien may have helped to kick off the revolution by choosing to protect Lothric rather than obey the royal family. Because as his, he had fallen in love with the prince. He was a knight that had fallen in love with the prince and, decided to betray his own duty for the sake of the prince. Am I your little pog champ? Thank you. Decided to, betray the royal family for the sake of the prince and kicked off the civil war. And since Gertrude and Lothric were siblings, it's possible that, Lothric wanted to save Gertrude from a similar fate. But they cut it to try to make it no homo, and so I desperately wish for the universe in which they can be, like, just knight and prince in love instead of, that. But either way, it's fucking tragic. Anyway, Cirrus is here, because remember she was like, I'm gonna go, like, meet my granddad in the Pit of Hollows? Yeah, I prefer that story. Like, I'd love to write stuff about that world, but, like, the fact that their brothers would make it, like, in canon would make me come across as a creep, and so I'm hesitant.
I finally found you.
Oh. This is sad.
Just as I promised, Granddad. Remember?
Yeah, Hodrick from the beginning of the game is her grandfather. Who hollowed. I didn't equip the right ring for this. Tried to do a ring swap mid. Don't you fucking dare! No! Leave her alone! Cirrus, please, I am asking politely for you to heal. That Hornet Ring. Yeah, we're just getting all the sads out of the way. Quit running. Based. Poor parryable granddad. Oh, you motherfucker. Poor Cirrus. Yeah, you definitely happened to join at a sad time. Lol.
Good night, Granddad.
Oh. Good night, Granddad. Listen, leave me alone. Yeah, no, he's powerful. Poor Grandpa. Dark Moons just never have any goddamn luck. I will probably be at the DLC. Tell your friend I said congratulations on the stream. I hope you have fun.
Oh, there you are. I'm afraid I've involved you in my affairs, over a little promise at that.
I love these lines.
My sincerest thanks for your assistance. At last, my grandfather will rest in peace, and I can die. But there is one last. May I take a vow to serve you as a knight?
Absolutely. How that even a question?
Oh, I am most grateful. I, Cirrus, do hereby serve as your faithful knight, wherever, whenever I am needed. My loyalty shall never waver. Blessing of the moon upon your journey.
I have a theory about Gwendolyn based on her lines there.
If I may ever be of assistance, I am your knight, forever and true. blessing of the moon upon your journey.
I love you, Cirrus. Thank you for being my follower announcement since like the start of the stream. We stand. It's so sweet. I know. Do you have a source on the cut stuff? Lothric's cut dialogue is available on YouTube. There are most of the cut dialogues, most of the cut stuff is based on environmental details and missing, like, pieces of lore and some stuff related to a questline that we haven't done yet, but we're gonna do this stream, probably. We have so many, like, tiny, sad loose ends to tie up. Should we just do more sadness while we're here? Should we just get it all out of the way? Oh, yeah, and you can find poor Cirrus's body out here because she, you know, fulfilled her purpose and was able to die. It's so sad. But she might have been the last Dark Moon, and so she's at peace now. Oh yeah, I'm gonna talk about that. But yes, Koth, Koth was going to be originally a part of the fight to really cement the fact that Koth was part of the Angelic Faith, and the Angelic Faith was based around not linking the fire. So... oh yeah, real quick. Talisman given to the Knights of the Sunless Realm, who serve the nameless moon. Scales with intelligence, which is rare for a miracle catalyst, but makes it compatible with dark. In the Sunless Realms, this fact is related first as an initial warning. So I think that shows that Gwendolyn was at peace with the dark. Yeah, no, I think that was there to, like, reinforce the Angelic Faith was about not linking the fire. Now, here's the problem, right? Yeah, no, it's so sad. So, when I first got to that boss fight, I was like, so wait, why can't I just let the flame fade out? Why can't that be, like, the end of it, right? But that's because letting the fire fade isn't enough. Like, if we let the fire fade, the world will just kind of, like, get more and more fucked up as the fire becomes more desperate and pulls everything towards it. And so the fire has to, like, be ended, not just, like, allowed to fade. Sorry, I just realized that was off. And so, like, Lothric won't allow that to happen. And so, even if we can't, like, allow him to live, we can at least honor his wishes by putting an end to the flame. Now, while we're at it, let's get some more sad stuff out of the way. Let's go back to the ruins of Izalith and take care of some stuff here. Actually, there's some other stuff that we missed that I'm going to want to tackle. Can I request? I I have to plunk down souls on it, so it'd probably be, it'd probably be a bit donation reward. Ah! Oh, it's gonna get worse. Like, I want to cover some stuff that isn't sad, but, like, we're in a part of the game where everything's just sad, and I kept putting off the sad stuff because I'm nice. I'm too nice for my own good.
That is true.
Now we're gonna get into some pretty heavy sads. Love this weapon. So, harken back to Dark Souls 1 and the characters we met in Izalith, because we have just found one of them. It's the Fair Lady, who, despite having her illness soothed, eventually did pass away, and the body there with her has the Quelana tome, meaning at some point, most likely Quelana did return to be with her sister at the end. Which is so goddamn sad. Does everything have to be fucking sad in this game? Like, I'm trying to give a happy lesson plan, but no. A pyromancy tome of Quelana containing her unique spells. These pyromancies can only be taught by a female master, because she's a lesbian. Quelana, the sole surviving witch of Izalith, once accepted a human pupil, but after that pupil moved on, she never took another. But yeah, that shit's fucking depressing. I wish it didn't have to be that way. I really do. Ah! Place. I know. You're all pupils of mine. She can get her own. No offense to my girl Quelana, but like, I'm not letting her take my pupils.
Get your own damn pupils.
I am trying to read an item description. Rachel, don't let Miyazaki kill you. I'd like to see him fucking try. He can come at me anytime, anywhere. I'll break my bones at him if I have to. Ancient catalyst of the Witch of Izalith and her daughters, used long before the dawn of chaos and of pyromancy. You can actually see it in the opening cutscene of Dark Souls 1. With the birth of the Chaos Flame, the Flame Witches were at once both sorcerers and shamans. Faith adjusts the power of sorceries cast using this catalyst, and the staff also seems to boost the power of dark sorceries. Explains why what words wash over you. Oh. I'll take guy pupils if they pay enough. Oh, Sorig! Sorig, hey, how are you? Let's be civil about this.
Oh my god. Take it easy now.
Himbos are allowed. Oh boy. Sorig, come on, let's talk about this. Sorig, let's talk. Let's talk. There we go. Let's talk. Doesn't it feel nice to talk? Aw, thank you, Nick. And that's okay. I do my best to make my teachings available for all, himbos included. You're all diamonds.
Oh my god.
I won't scatter your sorrow to the heartless sea. I will always be with you to teach you about Souls lore. Hi, baby.
Hi.
Thank you. You're all too kind. This stream has actually helped me out a lot with my confidence, just because, like, I have a very androgynous voice, as is clear. Thank you, Notorious HRT. As is clear, and it was a point of insecurity for me, but being appreciated by such wonderful people has helped. I love fighting on this bridge. It feels so epic. Is it a lesbian magnet? Thank you. I do my best. Yeah, there's some enemies up here that are straight up broken. Like, actually one of the few instances of, like, of broken animations in the game. There are attacks that they have that will actually hit you through shields.
Which is garbage and doesn't count.
Lesbians are attracted to soothing lore voices. Even my voice gets all raspy because I haven't drank enough water. I can just pretend I'm doing a Lothric impression.
Drink your water.
Okay, I will. Thank you.
Why are you thanking me?
I'm thanking the people that posted hydrate.
Okay.
Thank you for encouraging me to drink water, my dearest. Oh boy. But yeah, no, it's easier for me to do Lothric just because, again, well, I do have the androgynous voice Gwendolyn has. Mine is just a bit lower. Like, my Gwendolyn always sounds like a tiny bit off. It's fun to do. Thank you, honey. But I can, like, only do the lines that she actually does in the game. Yeah, these dudes can can go through shields. I can literally just say, like, halt as her, and that's it. Halt. This is the tomb of the great Lord Gwyn. That's all I got.
If you want more, you gotta pay.
Yeah, the weapons are designed to go through shields, but some actually have, like, a broken hitbox that will act like you didn't have a shield up at all. Oh, I was only doing DS1 SL1 for, like, that one stream. Just as, like, a tester, because, like, I came back after being sick. I mean, the Shodel is supposed to be able to pass through shields. That much is actually a design choice, but not the, completely ignoring shields. Anyway, time for more sadness, because we haven't had enough in this area already. This room just full of demon corpses. It's one of the demons that we fought in the first game, but this is the old Demon King. Meaning the last remaining, like, member of the demon hierarchy, and we do very, very little damage, huh? Time to murder an old man. That's just the whole damn series, isn't it? Oh my god, I forgot I turned the music up. I haven't used this weapon in so long. You'll have to forgive me. But I thought it would be fun to switch it up. Oh yeah, he can wave his staff around and call down meteors. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the fight mechanically, but it's a great fight emotionally. Like, people bring up Sith a lot, but I'd argue that this fight is much more emotional. And we'll discuss that when he gets to, like, a lower phase of health. He has so many AoEs. It's all AoEs all the time. All AoEs, only AoEs. They got a sale. Alright, let's tone it down a little bit, Edgelord. Now. Oh yeah, so here's what's interesting. Yeah, when you get him down to a certain health percentage, he lets out like a giant AoE, and that's literally all he's got. After that, the flame in him is out, and he literally just can't stand up. I think that's way more sad than Sif limping, personally. Like, the fact that he literally just used up the last tiny bit of flame. Because the Chaos Flame is gone. The shriveled old Demon King is now like a clump of burnt ash, but he is the last living witness of the chaos of Izalith. So yeah, he's... basically, he was the remnant of that time we committed genocide. Oh, I totally forgot that I need to infuse this. I was wondering why its damage was low.
Just wasn't he?
Much better.
Pretty big.
But yeah, that's the remnant of the genocide we did that one time. Traces of the tumultuous seedbed that birthed the beings known as demons. Demons born from fire bore its smoldering essence and perished soon after. Man shares this rapport with the flames to this day. Oh yeah, that just is...
I took the man to shoot all of them.
Ah, how...
Okay, that'll be enough.
Ashen?
Okay, so... Yeah, the demons did deserve better.
Farewell, Abby.
Oh yeah, so we can try to give the Quelana tome to Cornix, but he's not down with it.
Ah, what have we here? By the gods.
By the
This
9
inscription
divines.
reads, Quelana, the ancient deity, one of the witches of Izalith. The last of them who wandered the lands. Then she must have returned to Izalith after all. But I regret to say, I cannot accept this. Quelana's pyromancies are for witches, and must be learned from a mistress. But thank you for allowing me to peer upon such a thing. If only I were a woman. Huh. Do not be... What?
That's the same way about books that I write.
Ah, yeah.
But we can give it to her because she's gay.
Oh, another pyromancy tome, have we? Quelana, Witch of Izalith. Well, this is a fascinating pyromancy. I may be a heretical sorcerer, but you bring me nothing but pyromancies.
Good luck, Bella. I'm sure that'll go great.
Little lass, you.
Oh, thank you, ma'am. Oh yeah, she has some of the ones from Izalith.
There is one thing that if do stay.
Love her. Me too. Okay, so before we hit up the DLC, there's one more optional area we need to tackle. And to do that, we have to go back to the fucking Irithyll dungeon, because life is pain. Don't forget to follow and subscribe. Fuck off. Not today, Zerg. If there's not a goat demon with incredible abs, what's even the point? Oof. Now then. Now we're gonna delve into the lore surrounding Osiris, because I know, like... Actually, here's a quick question. What do we want? Do we want Rosaria lore, or do we want Dragon Cult lore? Both have good lore, and we're going to cover both, but which one do you want first? Dragon Cult lore it is. Which one has more lesbians? Okay, we'll do Dragon Cult first. So yeah, remember how we got that one gesture from Osiris? We can actually use it here, where all of these other bodies are using it, and they're all praying towards that place on the big mountain. So we're gonna do the same thing. And when we do, we're transported. But where, you might ask? Try this area with a completely different look than the rest of the game, where the sun is bright and unflinching. This is Archdragon Peak. And we're immediately greeted by those serpent men that were outside Osiris's room. Meaning this is most likely where they come from. Yeah, look at how bright the sun is here. This is actually not time travel again. This is something else entirely. And this is something that is going to answer some very long-running questions. But yeah, since serpents are imperfect dragons, it would make sense that a place for the dragon cult would have a bunch of serpent-y people in it. Oh boy. Not all at once, ladies. Oh, that was so cool. I love this weapon. Yeah, basically it's where the Scalies hang out. And for some reason, the Scalies have their own very, very powerful sun. As for how that is, we're going to look into it. And in doing so, we're going to solve some of the largest mysteries in the series. I know, it's great. It's a question that I had asked a bunch in my Dark Souls 1 lore through, and I was like, we're gonna answer it, I promise. And I never lie. Mist Heart, I will time you out if you make that joke one more time. It's not even, like, funny dead now. Oh, yeah, same thing. Okay. It would get you killed by me because I am a boss. Thank you, Hadon. Have a good night. Now, what is this? This area is surrounded by all of these statues featuring a person we have not seen before, but that definitely doesn't look like a dragon. That looks like a person. That looks more like a dragon. Although it's actually a wyvern. And it's one of the worst bosses in the game. So, for this fight, you're actually not supposed to fight the wyvern straight up. It's like a kind of puzzle boss, but the answer's dumb. Basically, you have to run through this area full of enemies to do a certain attack, and I'm gonna fuck it up, because I always do on my first attempt. Yeah, it's interesting because wyverns are also, like, devolved dragons, so again, speaks to the fact that there's a lot of, like, dragon-adjacent shit here. This motherfucker with the kunai and chain. Fuck all of you. Yeah, I always fuck this up too. Don't worry about it. Yeah, you do an anime plunging attack to kill it in one hit, and then somehow survive that fall. It's dumb. It is possible to fight it normally, it just takes a long-ass time. Basically, I think you get teleported away after that, because I think this is kind of like a rite of passage. Like, you have to prove you can beat it. It's not a huge deal missed, I just think we're done with it. So yeah, now we're in the Dragonkin Mausoleum. So this is naturally, you know, people closer to dragons. And when we go in here, then I'm gonna start giving you clues. And I will give you clues and... Do you want me to give you clues and let you puzzle it out yourself? Or do you want me to help you connect the dots?
Farewell.
This is Archdragon Peak. Wyverns are kind of like a devolved version of dragons. Like, they're more animal. They aren't like, yeah. Wyverns are kind of like, what's the best way for me to put it?
Farewell.
Humans and monkeys, I guess. Exactly. Except wyverns came after dragons instead of before. It's a de-evolution, or a devolution, I don't know how to put it. But yeah, in here we actually see a ton of those dragon-looking people. Like the dragon form you can take with the stones, and they're all praying, and they're all made of stone. Like, they don't bleed when you hit them. These are people that have succeeded in achieving a state of stone dragon, which is, you know, what they want. They want to be everlasting. There's also this dude who's a Dark Souls 2 reference, and we'll get to that. Oh, I almost pulled off a perfect ring swap. There we go. Yeah, the dragon cult seems like it really gets results, except for Osiris, who just couldn't do it. Drakeblood Greatsword. I'm not going to read the description on that because that's a Dark Souls 2 thing, and we're going to get to it. Now then, here's where things get really interesting. In front of all these guys are medallions bearing the emblem of the Sunlight Metal. The same ones that the Warriors of Sunlight use. Meaning somehow these dragons are connected to the Warriors of Sunlight. But how? Does anyone want to hazard a guess? Nobody that's already played the game. Like anybody who has not played it before, you're welcome to hazard a guess. I might need to be closer, because if you pray here, you can get a ring. But I think I'm not close enough. Well, we will figure it out. Don't you worry. I will help you piece it together. Oh yeah. A ring made from the orange eye of a calamitous dragon. Received double damage. That's the thing from Calamite. This ring has no useful powers and is merely a symbol of dragon worship. A thing quietly passed down amongst its most fervent adherents, some of whom become convinced the task has been bestowed upon them as a sacred duty. Now, here's something very interesting. Through this chamber, we find the Dragon Slayer Sword Spear. This is the weapon that you get from Ornstein in the first game. Cross spear associated with Ornstein the Dragon Slayer, a weapon of the gods imbued with the strength of lightning. Two-handed thrust utilizes the support of the cross and requires great might, but can pierce deep into the flesh of dragons and send mere men flying. But it seems like it was dropped here, not used in battle, and there's no body. So the question is, why is Ornstein's weapon here? So we've got a couple clues now. Ornstein's weapon is... Either Ornstein's weapon was, like, taken and brought here, or Ornstein himself was here at some point. And we've got the sunlight metals. Those of you that have played the game, thank you very much for not saying anything. Jesus Christ. Well, that could have gone better. The risk I took was calculated, but man, am I bad at math. If that weapon could it kill people that became stone? In the right hands. It could in the right hands, but we couldn't pull it off. Only Ornstein could. Jesus Christ. Sir, you are very large. What's up with that? Have you considered being less large? Hi. Motherfucker. Thought these dudes would drop some lore, but no. The way the dragons look remind me of the pilgrims. Not quite. A lot of stuff about Dark Souls, just nice to listen to someone else talk about it. Thank you, hun. Smo's hammer was in Irithyll because he stayed to defend Anne Orlando. But we know that Ornstein left, like, on his own. Like, Smo stayed it, but Ornstein, like, left of his own volition. And may have come here, most likely, evidenced by his weapon being here, but it's hard to say for sure, you know? Thank you. Yellowstone plates are granted to those who would become dragons. So yeah, it's for people that straight up want to become dragons. Which again, has always struck me as really, really interesting. The idea that kind of after committing genocide against the dragons, people want to become them. Like they realize how badly they fucked up. It's ironic. You. Oh my god, I nearly fell. And as always, I'm open to questions. I enjoy educating. I'm gonna be sad when we're done with the new round of Lorethroughs, because it's like, then what am I gonna do? I love telling stories. I mean, most gods. So, like, white people making dream catchers to sell on Etsy, exactly like that. Except, like, they become immortal. I hate this little section. Ever since I learned that little skip there that you can run up on those rocks. I'm gonna do my first ever playthrough of Demon's Souls. Yeah, these dudes there can summon people that are probably here because they're dragon worshippers. And we'll get into that. But it seems like not everybody here is, like, full dragon. Yeah, I definitely want to do some first playthroughs for sure. I think it'd be a lot of fun. Sorry, I'm, like, too far away from the microphone. Okay, there we go. Better. Anyway. Oh yeah, did we read the Dragon Headstone? Does it have anything different? Oh yeah. I want it so bad. Oh yeah, from ancient times, the path of dragon worship was walked by warriors. Said they envision Archdragon Peak in the depths of their meditation, and at times they even hear the distant sound of the great bell at the peak. So it seems like people were worshipping dragons even back in the day. Those who choose the path of the dragon strive for perfect imitation, and the dragon headrite is the first step in this grand process. What's interesting is here... we actually can find Hawkwood, the same one who we could summon to fight Osiris. So it seems like Hawkwood might also be following the same path as we are. Maybe he's trying to join the dragon cult too. So let's help him out. Oh my god. The stun on this dude. That was embarrassing. Pretend you didn't see that. Come on, Hawkwood. Holy shit. Way to go, bud. Fuck yeah, let's get it going. Kill him, sis. Oh, shit. Oh, boy. You deal with that one. I got this little lad. You motherfucker. I hate this dude's attacks so much. Way to go, buddy. Can you heal? Are you able to heal, sir? Can he heal? Is he gonna be okay? Sweet fucking Jesus. Okay. Cool, he can heal. Help me out. God, the fucking chain axe is so absurd. The fucking range on it is ridiculous. Hawkwood? Any day. Anytime you feel like helping out. Nice. Way to go! We the best! Listen, I love me some panic rolls. Okay, there's an item I want around here, but I want to do something here first because Hawkwood does something really interesting here. Up here at the tippy top of Archdragon Peak is a place of meditation towards a giant... That's an actual dragon. Like a powerful old one. And when you come here, Hawkwood actually sits here and meditates and then returns home. He's not like a traditional phantom. He's coming here for the same reason as you. He's coming here to, like, undertake a journey to become a dragon. Which is cool. Good for him. I wish him well. Stone imbued with the power of the everlasting dragons, offered to a towering dragon. This stone shows signs of a nascent light. Gain the torso of a dragon and roar alongside an archdragon mirage. Yet true imitation will require a dragon head as well. So we got half the ritual. You know, that over there, that's a full dragon. That's a fucking dragon and a half. Is it alive? No. Although, it was actually supposed to be at one point. It is not anymore, but it actually has, like, a skeleton. It can't be moved, but, it, like, there's a possibility that it was originally going to be, like, able to move. Thank you, Doombringer. It's good to be back. Being sick was awful. Would not recommend. Wow, that was... fucking hate these things so much. I know it's pretty fucking brutal. Is there even anything over here? No. Umbral ash of the fallen warrior who chose the path of the ancient dragons. Whatever it is sure to grant strength to the most unrelenting warriors. So it seems like this is a place that, like, great warriors aspired to be. So maybe that's why Ornstein's here? But that doesn't explain the Warriors of Sunlight thing. But we will... I am giving you the clues. And all will be... I will provide answers at the end. I won't force you to come to the conclusion yourselves. But I'm giving you some clues, some teases. Because I believe in you. I believe in all of you, and I treasure all of you. As always. And even if, you know, I can't do this forever, I really, really do enjoy sharing it with all of you. Yo, that's Havel. That's the big man. That's the big man himself. Oh my god, do you ever run out of stamina? No fucking way do I not do... I probably shouldn't even bother trying to parry that. I love Havel's lore. He literally just hated Seath so much. Is that the real one? Most likely. And it ties into the same reason Ornstein's here and the Warriors of Sunlight are here. You know, he literally, like, turned against Gwyn because he fucking hated Seath. And it's like, you know what? I get that. If Gwendolyn were less brainwashed, I'm sure she would have done the same thing. Oh, that was fucking brutal. Oh, damn. I whiffed that. Why did I even attempt? Jesus Christ almighty. Gwendolyn wielding an illusory dragon's tooth would kick ass. But I doubt she could hold it. Oh yeah, while we do this, I should mention, one thing I didn't bring up about Gwendolyn is that, you know, the similarities between her and Lothric would imply that a similar thing went down with her as went down with Lothric. By which I mean, like, it's possible that maybe, how best to put it? That she was also the result of experimentation. Created from an everlasting dragon tooth that will never break. left by Havel himself, along with his boulder-like great shield, grants its wielder resistance to magic and fire. A tremendously solid and heavy great shield, cut straight from a giant slab of stone. Said to be a relic of the legendary Havel the Rock, along with the Dragon Tooth. The shield is imbued with a special power reminiscent of Havel himself. So yeah, it's most likely the real thing. Have a good one, Nick. We're probably going to be done in, like, 20 minutes anyway. I was debating ending a little early to save the big revelation for this upcoming scene, like, for next stream, but, well, what do you guys think?
Ah. Great letter.
Should we save the big lore for next time since it's getting kind of late, or should we press on? Because I can't guarantee. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking it might be a little late to really get to the big reveal. So instead, next time we can do like the big boss of this area and the answers to a bunch of questions, and then we can hop into the DLC. And then we'll probably finish it, like, the game as a whole next Saturday. Next Monday at the very latest, but we don't have a ton left to go. Beyond me just crying over a bunch of the DLC lore. So while we wrap up, since we have a little time left, TR6 Queenly, thank you for the follow, I appreciate it.
Ashen one.
Since we have some time left, do we... Oh yeah, he says Hawkwood gave this thing to me and asked me to give it to you.
Well, now that what would pretty
and we'll get into what he gave you later, but so close, and yet so far.
Be careful.
But I guess right now we can take some questions. While what am I going to do? What have I missed that I can tackle in the meantime? Boop-a-doop-a-doo. I look so coy. I have an answer, actually. Hit me. What happened to that little baby dragon from DS1? That might be the dragon on the mountain. It's hard to say. With the demon boss, if you leave them there, do they ever attack? They do actually attack. Like the old Demon King, I assume you mean. He swings, like, his sword very weakly, but I mean his club. He swings it very weakly, but he does swing it. I know, it's a bummer. It's for sure a bummer. Do you have any stuff we can get? Oh, here's some gay. Here's some gay. Attire of a knight from the Sunless Realms, known for their resistance to both magic and the dark. Sunless knights serve the nameless moon, and perhaps it is for this reason that their attire casts a feminine silhouette. So that's interesting.
Ashen One.
There we have another instance of Gwendolyn's warriors being specifically associated with femininity.
Ashen One.
Yeah, literally femme armor.
Ah.
Also one of the best fashion soul sets in the game.
Ashen One.
But yeah, I think it really highlights the point of, like, hey, Gwendolyn's whole thing is girl. In case that wasn't clear. Cirrus's armor. Yeah. As a femme, I can confirm. It also resembles some armor from Dark Souls 2 that I'm going to get into. Gwendolyn is indeed girl.
Ashen One.
If nothing else, remember that. If you take nothing else from this course. Now then. Before we wrap up, do we have any more questions? I know. I mean, here's the thing, right? Gwendolyn designed Dark Moon Knightess's armor. She's a fashion icon. She knows what she's doing. I'll drop my links again, and don't forget to donate if you can, because I have no idea where my money's going to be coming from starting at the beginning of the year. You know how it is. Pardon me. I was absorbed in thought. Why am I not picking up my voice? Okay. Yeah, thank you all for coming by. It's always nice to see all of you. Fashion Souls indeed. I am looking forward to coming back Monday. We'll be returning to the normal schedule. And once we finish the lore through, we're going to be starting on a lore through for Dark Souls 2, and we're going to be bringing back modded runs for Dark Souls 3, since we'll be done with the vanilla game for now. So we can bring back mods. Good night, everybody. Make sure you hydrate, okay? Make sure you hydrate. Do your reading. Prepare for Monday's class. And believe in yourself, above all else. And believe in the moon. That's also important. All right, have a good night, everybody.